everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield, and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the Southeast of the United States, and we're here to take a look at ATEEZ's performance practice of the AAA 2025. I have seen, I believe it was Akon, that performance, but I did not see this one because I did not have a 4K stage equivalence for it, so I'm very excited to see what this is. I'm ready, I hope you are. Let's watch. Fun. Man on Fire. I've not seen Man on Fire yet. Excuse me. Come on now. Nice. Yay. That was fun. Dancers are now in the chat. Yeah. Ugh. Basket run. So we have more fullness. Part of it could be there's more timbres to go off of and energy. There's dancers, so there's more quantity. Also, we're not on a table. Half of them aren't. I can see some of them slip on this gym floor. I think Yo-Song, I just noted, because of his shoes. Excuse me. Hey, hey. And a 4 and 5 and a 60 and a 7 and an 8 and a 1 and a 2 and you're going full for that. What a teasy tension, right? Fun.
what you into. Baby got a type. Yeah, I could be gentle. But that ain't what you like. Lips your body, it's a party, and it's hard as hell. Trust your body, I'm nobody, I don't kiss it. Release your inhibitions, they're easy fighting. Don't need a good intentions, but for a while, try now find it.
That was a fun transition between Man on Fire and In Your Fantasy. Nice.
Want a piece, want a taste, yeah, I'm here for the case. So like this boundless, can you handle it? This hit, okay, you're managing this is a limit, sinking in. I get it. Ice cold with no chaser. Let's cut it sharp like a razor. We're in a spot to get hella lost. Oh, honey, I am savior.
Dancers are taking a huge responsibility for the fullness on this, which is good. That's what dancers are for. Yep.
Devil in disguise, we know how this works.
Okay, so I've seen In Your Fantasy a few times now, but that was the first time I have seen choreography to Man on Fire, so you know we're about to break this bad boy down. Okay, so this beginning, I like the intensity of it. It's fun. It does remind me of, you know, the incredible award show performance of BTS with their table for like Dionysus and all that. So for me, I'm like, a table goes a long way. A long table to fit all your members. I love a little reverb from some of our members. They're frozen in frame now. And that looks like Yoonho here. He has a nice little head around there. He also ended up doing this little finger across the table, which I found to be cool. We open those arms up, have a nice little moment out of that with everybody. We knock that head back, which is also really fun. As a side note, how San danced throughout this entire performance, he reminded me of somebody who was, like, what is it? Off the clock mobster, I think. Like, he's just, like, working on his car. It's kind of what vibe he gives. And then he's like, oh, you're pulling me for this? I found it to be really fun. And we bring it in, great tension, great way to show off the muscles. I don't know what he wore. But I know the AAA camera work, guys, was not it for me. I saw just baby bits of it for SB19, and I really don't want to have to look at it again. Bless it. I bet you it didn't show the beauty of the movement that we got to see here. We just don't see there, because this is fixed cam, at least for this bit, which we love. So I like that he had his moment there. They do a little trace. Looks like everybody except for San used the hand that ends up going across the body. He's the only one that ended up opening his body. So it's super subtle. I think it's fun. I like their shoulders there on the ha-ha. And then we have a little reach is also nice. So the fact is that we have, a fixed cam and we're able to clearly see who's featured. I like that. It's a really great way to show that because at the concert, if you're there, that's really all you have to go off of is whatever vantage point you're at. So I like that they get up on the tables. And then we drop down. Here we go. I really, really appreciate the balance of this. It's so satisfying. Here we go. They hit it. I got no. They bring it up. So they cross, uncross, lift it up, drop it down. I like the fullness here. So San has an aggressive amount of engagement in the lower body. However, he is a bit on the stiffer side compared to what I'm normally used to seeing from him in the upper body torso. And it does reflect in a lot of the choices, especially when you go legato, it cuts off right here by the diaphragm, just on him. So it could be his fit and it's just circumstance or the choreography structure. It could be that. So I like the little knocks. And then there it is. That was like the first little legato thing I saw from him the entire time. He lifts his shoulders up too with the punches. All this is observation. No way of criticism. It does make him dance differently than a lot of the other members around him. But he's also wearing no sleeves. Everybody else is. And that's a big key takeaway to remember, that your outfit can heavily influence how movement is received, especially when everybody is having, long sleeves on the baggier side, things like that. So I like the little hit, the cross, uncross, and then they go switch up. So we do end up seeing this reintroduced again with the dancer. So it does look like some of our members are able to go more fully the second time. And I mentioned that in, the first watch, because they're not restricted to a table. Because you do have like a subconscious, I can't go super big, or I'm gonna take it out to the floor because I'm gonna miss a step and fall off the table. So I like the tension with the taps are nice, and then we body roll it out. So we end up taking it to a little pas de bourrée with a lower level, and I like that he has his arm get sent up and around. That helps justify the hinge from everybody. And then it looks like it passed off to Hongjun, and then here we go. We move to the other window, which I really like. So that's what these are called. Whenever you have a space and then it's filled up by a person in between two others, that's called a window. I mean, you can call either of these windows. It's super nice. They're bringing out in. I got no way. I like this little moment. Is it like a Latin flair? Maybe. That there's just certain timbres in this track, or sound, how the sound resolves in the track, that do remind me of that kind of scene of music. And they hit it up, or maybe based on what kind of projection they're showcasing, we've heard it in more of their Latin heavy tracks. Maybe it's that I'm like phantom assuming. I don't know. So they hit it down to the knee and up. They are all dancing that's subtly different. I don't mind it. I also really like the fact that we are in a day and age in the K-pop landscape that we have so many groups that are past that 7 years. Normally it's an anomaly. Now it's kind of normal. It's become normalized, and I love that people can stay booked and blessed after that 7-year curse. Companies are treating people well enough to where they want to stick around, little things like that. I'm here for it. So we have, oh boy, it's nice. They open it up, they switch. I like the triple there, click. And then they end up continuing to melt through. They create a nice interruption, and then they nicely flow out of that into their next moment, and then do the pas de bourrées, and then we have a drop layer, a level, except for your feature, which is cool, and then they hinge it through. So it's very similar, and I also really like the balance of Yeosang was on the first one, Sungkwan's on the second one, and then they speed change it, which is also nice, and they all walk away. And we have one member left behind. Pull it, a little reverb. And then we have our next member featured here with the pull is nice, going across the table. I like that we use that table for so much of this. Like that's the prop that's being used, which I really like. And I like that they're using these little building block mats as their stairs. It's cute. And they go here, boom, boom, good bases. Other members are joining the chat. You have your dancer set up here, which is nice. They're nice, professional, ready to go. Then you have your next feature come in, like the bass on the chest. I like that they did Man on Fire for this, because we get to actually look at the dance. This is so nice. They have a period of time where like their releases, because they were on tour, they didn't have dance practices, and it made me so sad, because that means I can't like put it on YouTube, because normally I don't just do music videos. I do a music video and I wait for a dance practice or like a performance version, but normally a dance practice, because it's fixed cam and we can really appreciate what the dance is. But they haven't been releasing those really at all. So I'd say In Your Fantasy, I had to find a concert version to look at that. So this is my first In Your Fantasy, dance practice isolation too. So maybe we'll take a look and do overview of that one, because we've already reviewed the choreo. But it's like it's made me so sad, because ATEEZ on the YouTube side don't get a lot of ATEEZ love from me there, even though we're looking at a bunch of their stuff on the Patreon side. So I'm really happy this exists. So this will go on YouTube for all of us to appreciate and enjoy. But their Akon performance is on Patreon, because there's not new information on it, and I don't know, I just felt bad. I just feel bad whenever I don't contribute like a review of some kind, like what I'm doing here, that I'm like, it just feels like I'm just wasting people's time. But I know I'm not. I get that. But you know what I mean? It's like, I was like, I want to give you guys like a meteor review to release like this. This is great. I really like the drop level, and I like the shoulders and the accent on that as he moves forward. A really good way to still have your feature, but I really love how they're contributing to how his tone is. And he has this little controlling moment. They're doing a little Harlem on one side to another, and I like the opposition on the two lines there. It's cool. They drop it down. I like how they hit it with the foot presenting forward, which is also nice. The build up is nice. They have a little cross. I like the bass and bass. This is all that's really nice. We walk it forward, and then they chicken wing basket run. And probably somebody who really, really wanted chicken on a random Tuesday probably made that term up. I don't know. But the basket run, which is that thing right there where they're squatted over, running to not be a distraction. Because it's just, to me, it's just a missed opportunity for some cool stuff. But it is like, they're still going. I know, it is what it is. But if anything, you get to focus. Most people are just going to focus on the numbers, which is the point, which is fine. They come up, and then they go, I got no way. So the members start this off again like you saw them do on the table and right in front of the table. Now the dancers are joining in. Good tension. They pull it through. They hit ball, change, pull. They bring it up, and they go bass, and then I really like this body roll happening with that rooftop, with the progression of the arms getting lifted. Punch is nice. Hit it, uncross. They regress it down, and we punch up. Good tension, tap. Then we ride it through, so instead of a rooftop, we still travel it directionally from the corner to the front, like you saw in the body roll, but this time it was tapped, and we pick up the foot instead. So that was nice. They step, little pas de bourrées. It is interesting that everybody just did that, so it was more unison, right? For award shows, we're way more lax on, formations and structure within that, because this was made specifically for an award show. It's not made for camera. It's not, well, some of it is, and it's not made for like a typical, I don't know, music bank or Ikigayo release along those lines, right? Like, this is made for a particular audience. Now, something that, for what I know of the AAA stage, if it's the same stage as Akon, which I believe it is, right? It's an arena style where there's thrusts. And they did really good, and I noticed it on the Akon side at least. If it is indeed the one that's arena where there's a bunch of extended stages, some opportunity to make this into that would be really cool. But if it's not, then that's fine. That was just something I really liked whenever we reviewed. I think it was, SB19. They took advantage of that, which I really liked. The hinge around is fun. Body roll with the pony is fun. I got no way. The tension on the body rolls are nice there. Some are using the shoulder. I noticed Seonghwa was really using here instead of here. That's a nice, compromise. If, you're singing and you don't want to be affected, and you will be affected if you do this too much, so moving it to the shoulder. It still gets a similar look. I like the interruption on that. Ding, 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 ding. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. And then you have your tension, teasy down. They do put the T's in ATEEZ. Switch it up and down. And then interrupt it, traveling it down. Good speed change. And then we have peekaboo feature. Then they do your pas de bourrées. and then we travel it up, and then the dancers hinge around. I just find it interesting that the dancers didn't stay up for the pas de bourrées. Like, we didn't have that level. Everybody was just down. And then we have this nice little moment. We go here, boom, doom, 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 with a twinkle, twinkle the fingers, and we open it up. Now this part here, da-da-da, that's a nice little, I'm assuming that's a leg work that you would see in the Afro realm, right? And I like the toss and the arm. Da-da-da, da-da-da. And we go double. And that does give a nice little, it's not, what is it? I remember it was like Hong Kong, right? From, it was like Street Dance China. He was showing a Mongolian traditional folk dance. And that little bounce just reminded me of that. And we open it up. They travel it through. The clap is also nice. Then they drop a level, low, low. They come back up. They knock it from high to low, which is nice. They open it from one side to another. They go switch, switch. They pick it up. And then they go da-da-da, da-da-da. Similar to what you would see in like a Superman, but they didn't do that. It was just the lower body gave that impression. The pick up of the heels is nice. We open it through. Yo-song is sparing no expense on energy. Goodness gracious, my brother. So he does the nice little gun little trace here with the two fingers. I call it the flight attendant, right? Flight attendant trace. Thought that's fun. And then we move to a new spot. Dancers are now out of frame. Tension, wiping the lip. Like, we got something. You missed the spot, right? Fun little outro. He opens it really nice. Well, he doesn't open it. He crosses and then he creates that tension with the rotation around, which is really fun. And then we swim it low. And we open it, bring it in, and we twinkle to regress. Really nice. And then onto our little switch off here. Ding. Fun. He looks. Look at the cup. Take the cup. What do we do with the cup? And we vibration. We vibrate it out, which I find to be pretty fun. So I like that we have in our columns. I think it looks like we have some opposition going on depending on the column. Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe. I would say that. And the arm rotation. They'll pick up there. We cross it. And I like the switch off on the heels and letting the torso lean in opposition to make the heels look bigger than they are. That's kind of what they did here. Just kidding. That was a complete lie. It was isolated. Normally you see people do that. However, because it was fast, and also, they, if anything, by locking the torso, because both can be true, they didn't use opposition, however, they locked it in order to make the isolation of the heel, because normally you would see the switch off and wait, or the hinge. It made you really focus on the lower body. Cool. I'm glad I went back to double check, because that was going to sound so silly. The little tosses are nice. They cross and cross. They drag it down. I like the little 3-step turn that brooms. Here we go. The pickup is nice, so I like that they have a rock on this. The punch down, and then they have it, oh my goodness, with the touch, untouch, like across the chest, which is really nice. They lift it up. The punch is nice. Good accent over on the stage, right side. They pick it up. It's nice. They pick it through. Good. Little uppercuts of tension, which is nice. Going. Look like we're about to do a column, 2 columns. They like the little tap. They send it away, and now everyone's all, you know, what is it? They're connected and a little bit lower. And I like that we have this opposition on 2 sides. We open it up. So fun. It looks like we're reverbing or we're creating a nice little flow. This wave-like accent while people come out of it. They do it about 3 times. And then we have more members moving forward. Group of 5. Let's go. Arm swing down. They pick up at the elbows. They rotate it through. And then we have a little switch off. Nice rigidness on the heel switches there. The pull in is nice. Good tension. He lifts it up, tosses it. Everybody turns out of it. We take the head up. We send it back. Rotation on the arms. And then we travel the isolation down. We punch it, rotating it up. We're all still doing it the way that we want to do it. Individuality is a huge component on this. And we know them for having the live vocals, which is cool. Like that moment, he's just sitting there staring at us. Okay, then. We have this, oh, we about to pop off. I see you. And we have all the members here. And then we go and we unfurl. So now here at this point, it's in your fantasy. We've already reviewed it choreographically, but we're still going to do overview. Fun little speed change, good way of showing your feature. Maybe you're my type. I like that we have the quickness of the feet to travel it up. He said, that ain't what you like. Yeah, they're cleaner here than what I saw in the concert version. Hot as hell. A little twinkle is nice. A little figure eight is nice from everybody there. And then that was a fun way, honestly. That whole formation with all of them moving forward. And then you have the Yeosang feature here. It was so clean, that transition. Like, even at 0.75, wasn't seeing him coming. But it could just be where I was focusing, which is fine. Hit it high in, which is also nice. I like having the dancers carry responsibility in all of this. It's really nice. I hit it up and around. I think I like this rendition. I don't know what they changed about it, if they did change anything. I think I preferred this performance practice to what I saw in the concert version. I think it was just there was not a lot of fun levels I was able to recognize or see there compared to what I'm seeing here. I like the clarity of seeing where the members are. The bankhead ISO is so fun there. So like this little bankhead bounce situation, but it's more so like just an isolation hinge rotation across. So it's still polyrhythmic. The pull is fun. There's that Lucifer, Devil in Disguise, and then it definitely gives this little Dracula cape extension. And he said, come take a seat. They toss it down. Fantasy. Now, their choreographies, despite how teasy their songs are, choreography doesn't reflect that. It's normally other ones that have a lot of, there's like an angstiness about the track where there's way more sensuality, right? I would say Deja Vu, right? Is one of those. There was another one that they had where I was like, oh, Lord. And part of it's going to come down to costuming. If their costuming's all like, oh, excuse me, it feels like I'm not supposed to be watching you, wear that outfit, then they could probably just roll on the floor and it would still feel teasy to some degree. So I think that's another component. And I mean, all that in unison. They just rotate to different formation. Not different formation. It's the same formation, but they just rotate people around it. Or it's the same kind of balanced idea of the formation, right? So he moves forward, which is nice. But we do have a cover up in somebody. We have a lot of that happening in this course too. Yeah. Yeah, nice little switch off there, like you're doing a little outlaw, but not quite with the upper body. Just lower body. A lot of unison. Yeah. Because I know this was an actual title track release, I think there's normally an expectation of creative investment on the formations and on the transitions. And normally, like, how this is structured is similar to, like, B-side treatment on composition. But also, they were on tour, so I do think that logistic, and that's what I said, I think, in my review of the concert version, is when you're on tour, you gotta reprioritize your list a lot of it. So that's why I'm not, I mean, as much as I'm like, wishful thinking here of having more, just more enjoyable moments, not just content-based, but in the transitions outside of just moving to a new spot, but using content and projecting forward on it, I still feel that way. I like the add-on on that. It's nice, and they hit it around. The verses are nice. I like that. Like the angles, like all of that's really nice. And this is not just this isolated track. There are many tracks from many artists I've seen as of within, in the past few years that have their courses more on the neglected side on those dynamics, like what we just saw there. It's not that they're incapable. Part of it is the trend of the times on replication for challenge. But they didn't release a dance practice, but I do believe they released challenge shorts for it. So sorry. They rotate it through, sending it up. Usage of the dancers is fun. Toss behind is nice. Like the subtlety conversation of it is nice. And this part here with the pickup, it's like, yeah, I remember talking about that move specifically. And the scissor switch off is fun. 3-step turn. Like the dancers are really doing a good job of presenting. So he's able to do what he wants to do. I love that. Here we go with the hinge. Like all that is so nice. Love that. Now it's gonna be back to unison. With the trio, at least everyone's being seen. But then Mingi goes right behind. Yes, he's taller than Jongho, but it's still, to me, that is definitely a for any. I'm never a fan when I repeatedly see one person get hidden behind somebody else when everybody is a member of the group. I mean, he is catty corner just a bit, but yeah, Mingi's hidden away in this entire course. Still hidden away. He's over there in the corner though. All of it's unison. Except for that feature deviation. I feel, well, I do like this version more. Like, I like seeing it as a dance practice more, but I still have similar feelings about it where there are areas that I do think are missed opportunities. However, was the opportunity even there, or was this just we have the track and we have X amount of time to do something to it, and this is what they gave us? So for me, I would count our blessings for the fact we even have choreo to it, because it's right in the middle of the tour that they did it. They knock it, rotate it down, little head is fun. But we just open it up, it's still unison. And so the reason why unison can be used to help provide a new way of digestion as a viewer to what you're watching. So just like whenever you have sentences, whenever you like read an essay, having the same type of projection through an entire paragraph, or same, what is it? There's not a reframing. It's just there's like a redundancy of format of sentence. It's really hard to digest after a certain amount of time, right? It can feel kind of like, okay, I need it reformatted or I need it worded in another way, essentially. And part of that comes from how you structure it in your formation. So as a viewer, it's absolutely okay if some people have a shorter attention span or a longer attention span. There's beauty in choreography. It's subjective, right? Choreography is an entity of movement where you get to see it formulated in a particular structure depending on what kind of intention it was made for. For this particular one, it was the whole time it was promoted was in concerts only, right? So, and even here it's an award show. So I'm still appreciated that we have this, but I don't think this one is the same type of title track priority like other title tracks they had in the past. Like I Saw My Teeth was very different. Work was different in the prep compared to this, right? So I have to remember that. Well, that's okay. But you're gonna have, when you sacrifice the same type of stuff that you normally see. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Whenever you sacrifice creative output, which is what it does kind of show a little bit here, and because BP Trippin was on tour with them too, so it's not like they were just fresh in Korea waiting for the next thing. No, they were booked and blessed too, which is great. So we're not downplaying that whatsoever. It just comes down to whenever we're like creatively spent, there's going to be certain things that pop up that are, that it may come across more as a miss than a hit than normal, or it may feel like a regression. And some people may be like, why does this feel different? That could be why it feels different, because we're not as, we're not at home for any of this. We're traveling, and that's such a different headspace to be in. Like, all that is fun, but it's I remember, it's all unison. So it's hard to appreciate the movement, to me, personally. And the dancers adding quantity, like, that was nice. They actually, had a little party mode with different levels. That's the first time in the dance break they did that. And then they hit it down. And then we have a fun little finish. So in general, I'm really glad that they're able to showcase a wide discography. I think it's really cool. I am intrigued on, their future title works. Are we going to be... They're very heavy on the touring, which I think is super cool. Love it, because it's a really good way of getting an income for sure. And people love being able to see groups often. I love that. I'm curious though. of what the upcoming tracks they're going to have are, both in lore and in sound, because they like exploring, but also there's a risk with that where people like the ATEEZ sound, and so when they deviate it, like the In Your Fantasy or Lemon Drop or anything like that has a very like American pop sound, like the Justin Timberlake, like this gives a sexy back vibe. Lemon Drop gave a very Chris Brown vibe. So in the 2000s, are they going to continue with that, or are they going to go a different avenue with all that? I don't mind. I like hearing it. It's just cool. Like, I like music. What is the movement going to look like in Reflection? Is it going to be similar to this, where our prep time is really short, or our priority is not on the dance as heavily as it has been in the past? Or is it going to be the opposite? I don't know. But I'm looking forward to hearing y'all's thoughts on it. This was nice. And I may look at the broadcast version. I'm going to be honest, I don't have a desire to, because the camera work is just never up to snuff for us being able to appreciate what the whole thing is with the adrenaline in the way that this would be, right? Or a 4K stage, and they don't have a 4K stage for this, so yeah, it is what it is. Y'all let me know if you are dying for me to look at it. I may just put it on Patreon, I don't know, but you guys know me, I know you, I'm Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.